And you as the creator,
Content.
you as the creator, you have to question now, all right, am I going to contribute to that? Or is there a way that I can use it to my advantage? If you only do funny, dumb shit, you will attract the people who only want to see that. And then whatever you want to say that actually has value, they'll discredit you for it. They're not as...
Dang, I see where you're going with this.
Let's talk about your love life.
Oh my God, you guys are. Why did you have to bring that up, yo? All right, Mr. Legendaley. How's it going?
I'm doing good. What about yourself?
Not bad. I cannot complain, man. I've been doing a lot of interviews, trying to get to understand the people of Twitch.
Okay, I think you've come to the right person then.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I've been in this space for a while, and I just feel like you just learn things over time. You know, you learn things over time. You know how it works. You know how the industry works, and then, you know, eventually you make the decision if you want to stay in it and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Yo, so is it worth it getting into the industry? Is it the lifestyle?
Well, before we move forward, what's your name, by the way?
My name is Goku.
Okay.
Or you can call me Omar.
Okay, Goku or Omar. I'll call you Goku then. But now the audience knows. All right, chat? Okay.
Yeah, no worries. I prefer Goku.
Right. So my name is Chris, or you can say Legendaley, but it's entirely up to you. Yeah.
All right. Respects. We got to know your real name.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Legendaley. So what got you into social media or Twitch? I don't know particularly which got you started on social media.
Right. How far are we talking back here?
From the very beginning.
The very beginning. So
Take me back.
Back in high school. So just for more context, I graduated high school in 2014, and during this time, I actually did not have any social media. There were already people on Instagram. Instagram was like the main thing that people had. People posted stuff. And then throughout college, which I was in for 3 years, so I did a degree program for 3 years, also had no social media. You were in kindergarten in 2014. Oh my God. And then pretty much right after college, like when I graduated, I started my Instagram, started posting some pictures. People they liked the content, and then I got into work first, so I started doing my career, did accounting. 2 years after accounting, I was like, you know what? Why don't I just pull the trigger and just try streaming full time? So the end of 2019 was when I actually tried to do social media. Did it for a little bit. Then in 2020, I started my TikTok. Took off on TikTok, and then started streaming, and every other platform started growing, and here we are now, essentially. There's my story for you in a nutshell.
All right. So you took the risk.
I did take the risk.
Interesting. Was it worth it?
Was it worth it? That's a good question. I mean, like, the thing is, I don't really know what my life would look like if I never took the risk, right? I think one thing...
Get some office jobs, dreading your life away.
I think one thing that I'm extremely thankful about, though, is having, like... When you take a risk like that, you can't really fuck around. You know what I mean? When you take a risk like that, I mean, you can fuck around and nothing's going to happen. But it gives you a level of, like, urgency that you wouldn't get if you, for example, stayed in your job and you wanted to do something on the side. I find that for a lot of people. I know so many people right now who are in jobs. They want to start something, but they don't. And the reason they don't is they just don't want to take that specific risk, right? So, yeah.
You know what? You're right. It does put you in a different mindset.
It does, for sure. So let me ask you, Goku. I'm gonna reflect this question back at yourself. So tell me about your social media story.
Well, my social media story. Oh man, I lack any social media presence right now.
Okay.
There's a positive to it though. I'm already famous in real life.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, but just not on the internet.
So explain how you're famous in real life.
So my Twitch channel started when I wanted to do IRL streams. I put on a suit in real life. I was just like living everyday life, just dressed up.
Right.
And I was like, hey, why don't I just get a camera to go along with me?
Okay.
And so I did a whole computer build for my IRL stream. I hold the camera when I go up and walk IRL, and people love to take videos of me and take pictures with me.
Yeah. Okay. So in person, you got a taste of the attention when you were doing content outside. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Mm-hmm.
Are there other sources of attention you're also getting?
Um. I've been slowly getting on social media, on TikTok,
Hmm.
Instagram, on Twitch. So that's another part of it.
Yeah. When did you start?
Um, Around April is when I started
Oh,
my
so you just started
Instagram.
this year.
Yeah,
So you're a youngin in the space.
yeah, man. I don't have the quote unquote industry experience like you, my guy.
So okay, I'm gonna reflect it back to you. Why did you start social media?
Why did you start? Man, because yo, I'm gonna be honest, it's fun, dude.
It is fun. I agree with you. That's it. It's just because it's fun.
It's fun. It's just to be frankly honest. If we go deep enough, I want to let you know that I started this because there's just so many of my skills and talents and things that I love doing that belong more towards social media than real life and in a regular job. Like I can offer more of myself
I
on
feel
here.
you. Do you work a job in the real world?
I do.
What do you do?
Yeah, I'm a valet.
You're a valet. Okay.
It's not
Uh.
really my job though. Like, so I have medical certifications,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I chose like not to work in them because I'm just stuck inside of the hospital. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so when I got offered the valet job, my job is really to block in the main entrance of the hospital. So every time a person leaves or they come in, they have to
Right.
see me, and so
Oh,
I
so
just
you're like
make an
the guard.
impact. I'm not a guard, but I see a lot of people, so I'm always interacting with them, and I feel like I make an impact just by providing like a smile,
Mm-hmm.
and talking to them.
I feel you. And now you've gone to the internet to do the exact same, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think you actually like you come off to me as a guy who has done social media for a while. Just like talking to you, I can tell. I can tell. Like
Hmm.
talking to you, I'm like, okay, this guy's not new. He's not shy. He knows what he's talking about. I can see a little bit more of the newness in you, but like I like it though. I respect it. I also respect you like even asking me in chat like, yo, let's do an interview. I like that.
Yo, I respect that, bro. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Of course, dude. I respect it. You know how much balls that takes? You know, like what's funny, right? Like if I'm in the mall and I get like some kid come up to me and be like, "Oh, hey, I've seen you on TikTok," or like something like that, right? I always tell them, just so you know, like I respect you so much more for even approaching me because I can guarantee you, there's a good portion of people who also see me, but they don't say shit because they're scared or they're worried, you know. So
Yeah.
I respect people who will go out of their comfort zone to try new things.
Only way to grow, baby.
That's right. That's the only way to grow. It's the only
So
way to grow.
Legendaley,
Yes, sir.
I gotta ask you, man. And I appreciate you asking me some questions here. First of all, because a lot of the people I interview, they don't give a crap about Goku. No one cares about Goku, so that's nice.
Right. Of course, dude.
Where do you reside, my man?
I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia. I'm Canadian.
Cool. Is that where you stay right now?
That's correct. Yes.
Awesome. You came off more of like an LA type of guy to me.
And what?
I thought you were from LA.
Oh, LA.
Yeah.
Interesting. It might just because like, sorry, repeat.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying that like maybe it's like that just because I've been in when you're in the space for a while, you start converting like everyone else who does content. So maybe I don't know. Maybe that's why I come off that way.
No. So like, what do you usually do? Like, what's your Twitch all about? Can you give me a detail
That's funny.
about?
It's funny you asked that because I don't actually stream on Twitch that much. Like, you came in my like once in a lifetime streams.
Really?
So I used to stream full time. Guys, this guy doesn't even know, but I'll tell him the story. So I used to stream full time in 2020 and 2021, and then I stopped streaming because I just personally felt like my time was better invested somewhere else. Because streaming is it's very temporary. It's very short term, right? It's not like it's not sustainable because you got to spend your time sitting in front of the computer. Now, if you have someone like constantly editing content for you and you yourself love streaming, maybe you love playing video games, like it's perfect, right? You should stream. But if you're the type of guy who you consume more energy like streaming compared to the average person, it's like it's a waste of time because My time is better spent somewhere else. Somebody in my chat just said, I see this guy on TikTok ads now. What's funny is somebody actually DM'd me yesterday, and I'm on the. Are you from Canada or no?
No.
So I recently did a little job with a little. I worked with TikTok Canada for this safety guidelines thing. I don't know if anyone in chat has seen that, but people started DMing me. They're like, "Bro, you're those faces now telling me to take a break on TikTok." Like, I'm on there.
That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much. So like every blue moon, I will come live and do a stream, and that's why I'm
What
here.
a small world.
Yeah.
Your viewers are just seeing you on ads now. You think you're
Yeah.
big time. What happened to
Not
this
really.
guy? Where is he now? He stopped going live. Now he's all over my TikTok.
Now he's telling me to get off the phone.
What do you do on like social media, man? I see your YouTube page is popping. You know, I
Right.
haven't seen your TikTok. What is it all about? What do you do besides streaming?
So I started in the gaming world. I was streaming a lot. Hanzo, I see you, Hanzo. Sorry, some of my chat needs like a lot of attention, so I just give it to them sometimes. Hanzo, I see you, brother. But feel free to check out my TikTok. I started off on there, and I'm confident enough to say that I am one of the very few people that started streaming content on TikTok. And when I say that, in early 2020, at this time, everyone was still like, oh, it's a dancing app, it's a dancing app. There's no room for gaming there. There's no room for streaming there, right? So way back in 2020, I did one TikTok where it was like a relatable meme, you know what I mean? About streaming. And it took off. It got like 100,000 of views, and then all of a sudden, I started like I went from like single digit viewers in 2020 to like double to like triple digit, like it was in the hundreds, and then it just happened so fast. But that's where my main audience is. It was core. Do you know Luminosity or no?
I've heard that name. I'm not sure.
It's a gaming organization. I used to be signed to Luminosity as well. So I used to be signed to Luminosity, and right now, like the person you're talking to right now, I actually don't game as much as I did in the past now. So
I see on your TikTok,
right.
You know, you got a great physique, bro.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you do a lot of workouts, gaming related content.
A little bit of a Goku myself under this, but you know, I'm just not Goku though.
No, I see the six pack, man. I see it. That's cool, man. So you said you don't spend your time mostly on Twitch because it takes a lot of energy from you.
Right.
Are you an editor of some sort? Is that what you do?
I mean, I can edit content, but I wouldn't say that I'm an editor. I do edit my own content. So to some degree, I can edit.
Dope, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to hold the question on for a second. My chat told me to show you something I've been working on for a while.
Yes, let's see it, brother.
Yeah. And you know, I feel like this could be a great accomplishment in today's world, but just so how unlucky I got, my phone wasn't even plugged in to charge. So I'm gonna have to show you that in a couple more minutes once it does charge. And with that, it'll take me to our next question. So what do you usually spend your time on? Because you have a YouTube channel, you got Twitch, you got TikTok, you know, you got a lot of hobbies. How do you prioritize your time? You know, and you have a set schedule that you do it all the time on?
So in this current time, I think the best way that I can word it is I'm trying to actually be more out there locally. So, when you're doing TikTok, right, it's so easy to just get consumed in the online world that all you do is try to talk to people online. You know, you just sit in your room and that's all you do. I'm trying to make far more of a conscious effort now to have more of a local presence. So it's funny because today I was telling my chat earlier that today I just got back from an event where there was this. It's a brand called Real, which is backwards for layer, and they're like a men's hygiene brand, and they had a store opening. They invited me over. I came over. Two nights ago, I was invited by Saint Remy for a little cocktail night trivia. So I'm attending like as many events as I can locally. But in general, like if you're talking like a normal day, I mean, I'll wake up, I'll edit some content, go to the gym, come back, film some content, edit. Typical creator life, right? Now, is every day like that? Not necessarily, but for the most part, like that's what life is.
Okay, that's cool, man. So you try to work as much as possible, but I'm assuming you don't overload yourself when you're doing it at a set time
Yes,
every time.
that's right. I'm actually trying to bring the load back up though. So
Okay.
yeah.
Why is that? Do you have more goals and visions that you're trying to accomplish?
So you get to a level with social media where you kind of like, I don't want to say you get comfortable, but you just get comfortable. And I have so much free time. Like I'm telling you right now, this is not a relatable problem. I have a lot of free time, but I'm also like the sense of urgency goes away when you grow to a certain level because you're already like big, right? So the reason I'm
Interesting.
trying to ramp back the content, or not ramp up the content, but ramp up my ability to get out there, is because like I don't, I like you almost feel worse doing nothing. It's a weird way to describe it, but it feels worse when you're doing nothing. So people used to say something like, "Oh, I just want to get rich and then do absolutely nothing," right? Some people like want that, and you get to that, and then you're like, "No, this ain't it, bro." Like I feel like I have no purpose in life anymore. Like this is not it. So I'm trying to give myself more urgency again and trying to get myself out there, do more content. I'm meeting more people now, which is good. And I think the biggest problem in the world today is it's so easy to just stay to yourself. And you gotta get out there, bro. Like you have to get out there.
Hmm. Interesting. So yeah, you do have more free time, but if you do the same stuff in that free time all the time, you're basically gonna burn out. So I guess you just have to utilize it in other ways.
Yeah, well,
You know,
let
'cause-
me rephrase. The problems I have today is better than than the problems I had yesterday. Like for example, right? I told you I was in accounting. Like some days I would be working for like 10 hours, right? Some days. That's a like 10 hours of your day. That's a whole chunk of your day, right? These days, I'll work for like, I don't know, 4 hours. I'll be, okay, that's good enough. I'll call it for today, right? I'll work for 4 hours, call it for the day. And then it's like, I still have what? Aside from my like sleeping hours, I still have the rest of my day to myself. That means that I should be using that time for something else, correct? I shouldn't just be chilling. So that type of problem is a different problem compared to someone else who's like, oh, I need to get out of this like 10 to 12 hour working world.
You know what's crazy is I sort of have the same problem, but I'm actually been figuring out a good way to solve it.
Right. And what is
Like
that?
my boss is so cool. My boss is really cool. So he lets me work like instead of having a 9 to 5 because I'm trying to escape the matrix doing this.
Okay.
Hopefully, if God is willing, um, he lets me have a schedule where it's like I'm working one day off, 2 days on, one day off, one day on, one day off. So
Mhm.
when I get off from work, I basically have like a day and a half to work more on my side business. So I haven't had a day off in such a long time.
Right.
But the way I do that is just to always work, but always work on different things. That way your brain has enough time to cool down from the activity you did before. So a couple hours here, a couple hours there, a couple hours there, just keep it going to the point where you're always working, but it doesn't really feel like you're
Right.
always.
Because you're hopping on different like tasks, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you do that, like you'll eventually find gaps in your time and you're like, okay, I have a couple more hours here. I could probably add another task from editing or something I've already been doing this same day, give it more hours or add another new task or new hobby, that kind of thing. And eventually it just fills up.
No, you're right. I'm gonna help you here because hypothetically, like in a perfect world, that's how we should function, right? Like we need breaks from a single tasks, do something else that is also productive, and go back and forth between them, right? But
Yo, Nanderman, sorry about that.
no, it's okay. You can talk to your chat. I did the same thing too. So, for me, what I've noticed, the bigger problem that people have nowadays is how much distraction is easily available to us. This is the fact in life. Like there is an infinite amount of distractions available for everybody, right? And when you're distracted, you're essentially not working towards what you want to work towards, right? So that's if you can get rid of distractions in your life, I think no matter what you do, you will reach a level of success, even if you're not even aiming for it. If you just get rid of distractions, that's what I believe.
I could not have agreed with you
Yeah.
more on that, brother. Even though we have a lot of conflicts and disagreements on this interview,
Hmm.
I cannot. I have to agree with you on that one. Um, I'd love to show you. I'd love to show you what I've been working on, and it has to do with this topic. And I feel like this is a good time to show you.
Let's see it.
So I've actually been abstinence from any haram activities, as I like to call it, for about 38 days, man. So
38 days. Well, you have to describe first what haram activities are.
you know, do you know what haram is, my brother?
Uh, I do, but help me out for the chat.
You know, let's just say I haven't been jerking the turkey for about 38 days.
Okay. Is it just that though? Is that the only thing?
No, just staying in abstinence, man.
Yeah.
Like staying away from anything that's sinful, drugs,
Yeah.
just eating clean, hitting the gym.
Right.
Like a good mentor of mine gave me this advice. Like avoid the more bad stuff you avoid, the more you attract the good, because it's just a simple concept, right? It's like if you stay away from bad stuff, there's only good stuff left, right?
That's true. That's true. You're not wrong, and I want to congratulate you on that. That's actually dope. And I feel that have you shared this story with your followers or what?
Yeah, actually, one good viewer of mine, he recommended me this app, and I've been tracking it on there.
Yeah, that's good.
I
Do you
started-
do you share this on your content? Like, do you talk about it on Instagram or TikTok, or is it just like on Twitch?
No, you see, man, that's crazy you bring this up because on Twitch, on TikTok and YouTube, I post the clips that are funny IRL when I'm interacting with like drunk people and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm walking around. But recently something just hit me, man, because I've been doing Goku stuff before I was even Goku.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
some badass shit in real life
Okay.
that I can't talk about. And I feel it in my spirit, like it's something powerful there. So I wanted to share that side of me on YouTube and TikTok, maybe like
Mhm.
something that's inspirational, my
Yeah.
workouts, and just talking to them about this type of stuff because it brings value.
You're right. It does bring value. Yeah. I'm gonna comment on that. So, have you started doing that though?
Have I started? No.
Okay. So
I
why? So
just
let me
started it today.
let me pick your brain. Why do you decide to do the funny stuff and not that?
Uh, so to be honest, I've just been working. So just putting stuff out there and then eventually not editing it, but changing the direction where I'm flowing.
Yeah.
And today I just got that fresh idea. I was like, why
Okay.
don't I just post longer videos?
That's true.
Uh,
So I'll give you some of my experience in the past, right? Because
Yeah.
like I've been in this space for a while. So this is golden advice for, by the way. I hope you're like taking mental notes or something. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? When you say let's say you keep doing funny clips and you go viral off of that, right? You have to understand that the quality of your audience is going to be specifically that. And I noticed this with myself because I blew up off of this series that I did called Shut Up and Let Me Crank, right? So it was a series of me like flicking the mouse like an idiot and like, oh, this is what high sensitivity people are, right? It was just me like being a clown, like making fun of it. And I had 4 TikToks. Each of them were above 5 mil views, each of them. And what that actually did with my audience was I noticed my audience. I attracted like I attracted a lot of people that were specifically just into that. So you can see the problem now, right? Now, if I wanted to be serious, they were not gonna take me seriously, bro. They're gonna start talking to me like, bro, just do the thing, and they don't take you. They don't treat you seriously anymore. So the advice that I give you is, like, think about yourself. Do you go by Goku or do you go by NPC from space? Like, is that what your handle is?
well, I didn't want to. The reason for that name is I didn't want to just be Goku or go around pretending like I'm Goku, right?
Yeah.
That's just too silly. It gives me more freedom to be NPC from space, and people call me Goku, or that's what I go by.
Yeah.
I feel like that's respectable because
Yeah.
I'm not asking for it, and they call me it anyways.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So like, if you only do funny dumb shit, you will attract the people who only want to see that. And then whatever you want to say that actually has value, they'll discredit you for it, right? So this is just like a forewarning that you should find the right ratio of content that suits you, because you do need the funny stuff to attract people, right? But you need to have some shed some light on what your actual character is and what values you believe in, because if you don't, then once you start doing that later on, no one's gonna resonate with you anymore. That's what I've learned over the years. Right?
Trolling.
Exactly, like the trolling. Like you probably, I don't know if I can't think of any direct examples on social media right now, but I'm sure you can imagine creators who were specifically in a niche, like they were, I don't know, maybe they were only funny, and then they try to do serious stuff after, but everyone, like, no one takes them seriously, right? Because they've only known them for the funny side. So it's different, you know. It's you have to be very like conscious of what kind of content you're putting out and what type of audience you're attracting, and you always gotta be aware of that. So that's what I'll share with you from my past.
Man, Legendaley, man, it's really fun listening to you. I'm an extreme introvert, so you know, I love interviewing and listening to people, and I'm social media is something I've been curious about. So I feel like I'm getting value out of this. I didn't, you know,
I think
at first, man, I thought you were weird, man, you know, and all this. You got all these lights in your room. I thought it was gonna be a disco party, but you started to grow on me.
yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna take that into consideration. It is something to think about, you know. And once you build a foundation, you have to build the right one. And if you build a rocky one, you have to start over again, especially when it comes to, you know, the content you're putting out there. Man, so what do you feel like the hardest part of your overall life or your job right now? Like, you have better problems than before, but what's hard about your life right now?
What's hard? So I think this is one that you may or may not understand, but you got to understand that, like, there's levels to this thing, right? So once you've grown your social media enough, you're already different than who you were before, correct? Now, for you to truly move up another notch, you have to again evolve and become a new person. And each time you evolve, eventually, at some point, you might realize, like, oh shit, I'm not even the same person anymore. And you might view that as like a negative change. And you might see this with a lot of creators, like creators who just stopped doing content in general because their content just wasn't authentic to themselves. I think that's something that every creator struggles with. And with myself, my biggest challenge is figuring out, how do I keep moving up while staying true to myself? That is my biggest problem, because you will see that a lot of creators who continue to move up, they will completely change 100%. They kill their old self to give birth to a new version of themselves, right? And that new version might not be pretty, it might not look good, you know, but they do it because that's what it takes to move up. So the real challenge, every creator deals with this, the real challenge is, how do I move up and become a better person while staying true to my own values and morals? And I mean, I think that's something that I struggle with a lot, because, you know, you can only go so far, like, trying to talk about good things, right? The problem with the human psychology is that we love drama. We need to see fire, you know? That's what keeps people hooked. And especially with the algorithms today, they're designed to hook people. If you're not creating any sort of fire, it's really difficult to keep people reeled to your content, which is, it's like, ultimately, if you think about it, it's kind of destructive, right? It's almost like we're literally watching all of our mentalities get absolutely destroyed. Like, think about this. How many friends do you talk to now that say they have ADHD, right? Like, it's messed up. But the truth is, like, that's how this world works right now. And you, as the creator,
Content.
you as the creator, you have to question now, all right, am I going to contribute to that? Or is there a way that I can use it to my advantage and almost like undo that damage, you know? So, see, that's the world we live in now, bro. And that's the problems that I face.
Yeah, it's like half of them are here for the content, the other half are just watching you lose your brain over time.
Exactly. That's right. Dude, I used to be like, yeah. I'll be honest with you. Do you know what G Fuel is?
I do.
I used to be like just downing shots for the stream, like just scoops of it in my mouth, straight in my mouth. And I used to do that for content, bro. I got to experience that, like, throwing yourself away, you know? And it works because people love it, you know, you get the views. People love to see you hyper and like your heart's about to explode. But then like, I have to take a step back. I'm like, yo, like I'm going in a direction that is not true to me, bro. I don't want to be promoting this type of like caffeine consumption to people. It's just wrong.
So you sold your soul, man, or you got close to it.
I mean, I got close. I wouldn't say that like I sold my soul completely, but I didn't hit the point of no return yet.
Sell out. You got close, man. Yeah, so it's a constant challenge between being funny, edgy, and then providing value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you feel about cancel culture right now?
Cancel culture?
Yeah.
Oh man, I think it's getting weaker.
You think cancel culture is getting weaker?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's just they did it to too many people too many times, and it just it's losing its effect to my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I actually think it's getting stronger.
Really?
Yeah.
We're getting controversial now.
Yeah, I actually think cancel culture is getting stronger, and the reason I say that is because I think more and more people are no longer like thinking for themselves. That's why I think that. And the reason I say that is because tech now is filling more and more of our lives. There's less people living a world speaking from their own experiences. Now we're just, oh, I saw this online, so it's that way. Like that's how we talk now, right? And when you have the general population thinking a certain way, if you go against it, you're gonna get canceled.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. That's how I view it. Yeah.
I'm not gonna dive too deep into this topic right now because I don't want to get myself in some allegations.
No, okay.
And there's just so many perspectives on it. To be honest,
there is.
Like you can go on Twitter right now, learn something about cancel culture, and your opinion that you're about to give me right now could change in 2 minutes.
That's correct.
But I do believe in peace and finding peace. Everybody needs to find peace, and I think the people who are involved in these type of activities or are out to get people,
right?
I don't know if they're in a peaceful state.
Correct. No, I agree with you. I think a lot of people are in a dark place, literally a dark place,
like hell on earth, right?
Literally hell on earth. Not even just on earth, but even in their own minds. Like they're in a dark place in their minds, and they have to project that elsewhere.
Dang.
Yeah.
Deep.
Yes.
Stuck in a. So, did you learn how to edit on yourself, or did you have a network of people showing you how to do it? How did you progress towards that? Because I see your YouTube videos; they look very polished.
I mean, I've learned it on myself, but when I say learned it on myself, like there wasn't one specific person teaching me. It was just me constantly watching videos online repeatedly. And like, what do you edit content at all or no?
On my phone, yeah. I'm working up to save to a tablet right now. Maybe get like a better PC. Working up.
What is your PC right now?
Holy, talk to me about it, bro. It's like a $300 toaster PC.
Okay, well, but it's enough for you to stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can edit. My editing is weird because I have like 5-hour VODs and I want to like scroll through them to get the clips from IRL.
Right.
And so on the tablet, I can do that very smoothly and see the frame.
Okay, let me help you out there because you're definitely new to this space. So, have you ever worked with like Premiere Pro before or anything like that, like an editing software on your computer?
No.
So, how it works?
I got a free one, but not like what you're talking about.
Okay, so I'm sure the phones work a similar way, or like your tablet will work a similar way. But essentially, when you have a 5-hour stream, what I did back in the day was I used to have them clip it. So if I had mods in my chat, I would tell them, all right, chat, that was content. Save this time frame because when I'm editing, I just want to see specifically that time frame. So I remember the time frame, and then in my editing software, I actually have it's the same idea. I have the whole stream up. I go specifically to that scene. I cut it up, and then you go and edit it right there. That's it.
Man,
that's it, bro.
Imagine if I had those type of people on my side, bro. My mods and my viewers, they just harass me all the time.
They just harass you all the time. So okay, are they in your stream right now or what?
What?
Your like mods and viewers, are they in your stream right now or no?
Yeah, one of them. One of
One
them
of
is.
them. I'll
Yeah.
I'll give them advice. So if this is your chat now, if your chat is listening, I'll give you guys advice. Goku's chat. If you genuinely believe that Goku is going to blow up, you need to understand that you have the early advantage. As in, it's your duty to try to provide value to him as many ways as possible, because if just imagine right now if we snap a finger and there's 1,000 people in his chat, you want to be that guy who is in the calls with Goku. You want to be that guy who's in the calls with Goku.
Be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy who's just there and he's like, oh yeah, I've been here from the start, but like he offered nothing. So like you don't want to be that guy. You want to be that guy who's been there from the start. So
Yeah, be a real one.
yeah, I found
Be a
that,
real one.
and I'll help you out. I'll help you out with this. Like for me, I found that rewarding people who have been loyal over the years is like your best way to grow these types of people, right? It's growing. It's giving attention to the people that have been loyal to you over the years. That's the type of people you got to reward in your community.
Yeah, the day one NPCs.
The day one NPCs. Sure, is that what you call your viewers, NPCs?
Yeah, they're my N words.
Oh, okay. I see.
He thought what she said was funny. The moderator I have. Yo, thank you for the follow, Java. Yeah, I gave them a Discord role, right? My very good people. I gave 2 of them so far the day one NPC role.
Right.
And I feel like if we blow up, there's got to be worth something, right? Because
That's right. Exactly.
the whole NPC community, it has a good like foundation on it. I think it's very unique.
Mm-hmm. Like let me give you some more supporting evidence for that, right? Like in my chat, 90% of the people in my chat right now are all the same people who were there from the start. All the people who were here during the hype, they were here, but now they're gone. But the people who have been loyal to me from the start are still here. And that's why I know like they're the real ones, because they were here. They don't need me to be like clouded to keep watching me, you know? They genuinely watch you for who you are. So I have a lot of I like, because they show me respect, I have to give the same respect back, right? Like that's how it works. So and dude, you'll hear this a lot, bro. You'll hear this a lot when people come to your streams. Oh, I love you, bro. Like I'm loyal. Yeah, I'm loyal. I love you. I love you. I can guarantee you, bro. Like if you are not relevant, you will lose them in one day. Like that's just how the world works. It's literally how the world works. So the real ones who are with you right now, before there's anything crazy going on, they're the real ones. Yes, Ricky, I'm talking to you. Yes, Jan, I'm talking to you. Yeah.
Yeah, because they weren't just here for the hype. You know, they didn't ride the wave, I guess you could say. Man, interesting. So you have a sponsorship with G Fuel?
I did. I don't anymore.
You know, how did you acquire that?
So that one, like when you get signed to a gaming org, usually the gaming org is signed to a bunch of other brands already, and by nature you already, by extension, you become signed to them as well.
Oh, cool.
So I was signed to Luminosity, and Luminosity was signed with G Fuel.
Okay, so you got tapped into the network, and then you just
Correct, and then automatically just like, hey, you're working with us now. You can't, you know that's how it works. I'm like, shit, okay.
Yo, be honest, bro. Did they give you a good deal? Yo, are you still on the NDA, homie? What is it? Give up. Wait, why can't I hear you?
Because I'm not talking.
Oh, you're trolling the fuck out of me. I thought you were talking.
But that's all I'm gonna disclose. You know, if I start disclosing NDA things, like future brands might be watching me and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, don't get this guy. He's gonna snitch.
Hey, we don't want to get you into any allegations, homie. What you mean?
Yes, that's right.
Yo, when somebody from your chat, bro, they called me Habibi. I think they found out that I'm Arabic.
Yeah, did they? Is his name Java?
Yeah.
I think he's Arabic too. That's why. Yeah.
How did he know I'm Arabic?
I don't know, dude. Maybe the same way that I can sense another. I'm Filipino. If I can usually sense other Filipinos, it's probably the same idea.
Oh, he said I'm Arab. You said Haram. Oh, I gave it up. I gave it away. Yeah. Man. So you got the sponsorship. So were they paying you good money up front, or did you have to like make sales on that?
Well, it's a mixture of both. I mean, you can't get paid and do nothing, and at the same time, I'm not going to take on work and not receive anything in return. So it works both ways. And I will say, though, that I had a lot of leverage because back then, at the time I was signed with them, I was the one bringing in the most sales at the time. So I don't even know if were you in TikTok in 2020 or no?
No.
Okay, so you probably didn't see them, but I had so many G Fuel TikToks blow up, bro, and all it takes is one post, dude. You get one post blowing up about a brand, and that brand is like they're getting bread, like just one. That's all it takes. And I had so many, and like I figured I'm like, damn, you know what? Like I have so much more power than I think, and it's a space that, like you said, I don't know if that's a direction that I wanted to keep going in because me myself, when I take pre-workout for the gym, I can only do like a quarter scoop. I found that a quarter scoop is a good balance for me.
Hmm. Um. Yeah, I don't do pre-workout, man.
You
Not a
don't?
big fan.
What do you do? What do you take for the gym?
You know, the way Goku likes to work out, he just doesn't eat for a long time and then goes into the gym and gives it his all while fasted.
Fasting?
Yeah.
Nice.
Fasting, waking up from a nap, from sleep, but just an
Yeah.
empty stomach. I
That's
feel like you
no,
get
yeah.
better energy from that.
Okay, that's interesting. I used to be the opposite. I used to think like I have to eat a meal before, I have to get my pre-workout in, and then I would go to the gym. But more lately, I've been applying more like intermittent fasting in my life, so just trying to cleanse my body, you know what I mean?
Oh, so you're doing intermittent fasting. Is that like you
So
eating every how long?
I usually no, it's not like it's not insane intermittent fasting. I just try to eat. I only start eating the day like past noon or past. Lately, I've been doing that because I find that I can do deep work better in the morning than if I like were to eat first thing in the morning.
Hmm. You do better work in the morning.
Yeah,
Um, Interesting. You do
hmm,
better work in the morning rather than working out right away.
yeah,
I've been testing out a couple of variations, but if I tend to sense that if I have, even though it's tiring to do a workout in the morning first thing after you get your water and you're rebooting, but if you get a workout in and you move your body and you get blood flowing,
hmm.
I actually tend to have a way better day.
So like, is your first meal of the day after that?
Sometimes right away.
Yeah.
Other times it's like around 1 o'clock. It should be right away, assumingly, right? But
Hmm.
your stomach sometimes is not ready. So mostly my first meal is around like 1 p.m.
Hmm. Yeah. So I've been kind of applying that more lately, and I've been seeing benefits to it. So I'm like, why should I stop?
What kind of benefits you seen, homie?
Well, I
Share
mean,
them out.
like when you eat a big breakfast first thing in the morning, there's times where I'm like, I go back to bed and I'm like, yo, I'll go to the gym an hour later, and it's like, okay, so is this breakfast really good for me if I'm actually pushing everything in my day back? I feel so much more like bummier. And
Yeah.
I was super skinny before. So I used to have the mentality of like, okay, if I don't eat food, I'm gonna lose weight. So for the longest time, I was constantly stuffing my body 24/7, and I finally got rid of that limiting belief.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Man, because yeah, like once you go there, you can't like stop eating again because if you're like you're gonna go back.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what's crazy is digestion takes a lot of energy, man.
Hmm.
So people got to think about that. Like, I'll share a little bit of my knowledge. I don't think I get this deep, but people think like eating carbs or taking pre-workout is going to help a lot. But what you're doing is it's counterproductive because once you eat a little bit of carbs, it taps into that fast glycemic index
Right.
or whatever you call it, like the fast energy you get right off the bat.
Yes.
But once like 10-15 minutes in your workout, that tends to fade. So what happens is you either have to keep eating it or your body starts to go into like a fasting state where you're using fat as a resource.
Right.
But when you train fasted, you skip through that whole process. So you're right off the bat have this constant, consistent source of energy from the beginning of your workout to the end. And on top of that, we're not adding, the food that you ate, digestion energy as well that's being
Hmm.
taken away.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can't get into the scientific of it. I just know that like I read some things, and I tried it myself, and my experience tells me that you know what, like I actually don't mind not having a big fat breakfast now before my gym sessions.
Hey, yo, we're gonna have to pause it for a second. Hold up, we got some allegations we need to talk about, Mr. Legendaley. I just got somebody in my chat, some dude with some Chinese letters in his name. He's telling me to buy viewers, followers, and primes on a store, bro. We're getting some bots from your viewers, man. What is going on here?
My viewers, I get the
Whoa,
same messages. What are you talking about? Everybody gets
whoa,
those
what's going on
messages.
here? Whoa. What's happening, homie?
I get the same bots. Everybody gets those same bots, bro.
All right. It's my first time seeing them. That's why I have to bring up the allegations.
Yeah, it's clearly your first time if you think it's coming from me. You will get more of those. You will get more of those.
All right. So, how long have you been working out?
Oh, a long time, dude. Like at least 10 years.
10 years. Wow.
I'm 20.
This is my longest interview ever. I'm happy. I love this vibe. I'm happy to
Right.
keep going if you want to keep going.
What's your? Do you have Instagram or no? Are you on Instagram at all?
Yeah. Same tag.
All right, let me see your Instagram.
Yeah, give me some pointers, man. What am I working with? Give me some of what you would do if you were like my shoes.
I mean, to be honest, Instagram is like my weak platform. Like I'm trying to grow on Instagram, so. But perhaps you can give me advice too.
Hey, sheesh. All right.
Oh, so you've got some pretty high quality photos on here.
Yeah, man. I got lucky, man. I ran some photographers.
Talk about any shot content for you?
Hey! Shout out to Instagram, man. NPC from space. Free promo. Let's go.
So, where are you from? Somebody in my chat's asking where you from.
I was born in Egypt.
Egypt?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you still there?
No,
Where are you now?
I'm in America.
Okay. No.
I don't know how I ended up here, but my
you're
human
here.
life story is like the human version of Goku's story.
I like your bio quote. The moment you stop trying to be the main character is when your true life starts. I like that.
Thank you. What resonated with you? Can you give us some insight?
What? Say that again?
What stuck with you from that quote?
That's so ironic that you ask because I've had this realization lately that you will work harder when you realize that the purpose is not to be the main character. The purpose is to be something beyond being the main character. So what I mean by that is, for example, maybe you're trying to chase abundance for your family, right? In order for you to even get to that level, you already have to raise yourself up as an individual capable of doing that. So, by a byproduct of accomplishing that purpose is having main character traits. Does that make sense?
Can you rephrase that a little bit? I lost you.
So, for example, if I'm trying to be the main character, right? All I care about is me. I don't care about anybody else. All I care about is me. I'm going to make money for me. I'm going to do things for me. Everything's for me. I don't care about anybody else, right? But if you actually have a purpose that's beyond being the main character, for example, I'm going to say it again, chasing abundance for your family, maybe you want your family to thrive financially. In order for that to happen in the first place, you have to be a person capable enough of being able to do that change. Does that make sense? And in the process of achieving that state, you already take on traits of being the main character because you can't fuck around anymore, right? So that's how I see it. So I tell people you will work harder when you have a purpose beyond being the main character.
Okay, but the main character is still like lingers in the background.
Not necessarily that it lingers in the background. It's like the step below the purpose above. So I don't know. For example, let's just say like your mom. You live with your mom, and your mom works really hard, and you want to get her out of this financial struggling space, right? That's an example that a lot of people can relate with, right? For you to be able to do that in the first place, you actually need to be able to have the traits of a person who can get her out, right? So by process, you become the main character, but your goal is not to be the main character. Your goal is to get her out. So it's almost like, okay, in order for me to get her out, I got to do all of these things first, become a person who can get her out. And then she's the one above, where now I'm actually using what I have to save people. Does that make sense?
Ooh, dude, you hit it. Dude, you hit it on the nail, bro. There's this quote from Dragon Ball Z. It's like check my Instagram post.
Okay.
I got and read it out to the chat.
Which one? You have so many.
It is from the last one, 2 down.
2
The one
down.
where I'm like with my arms out.
Is the date October 21?
25th.
25th. Okay, you want me to read it?
Yeah. Thank you, Jenny.
Okay. Power comes in response to a need, not a desire. I like that. That actually goes perfectly in line with what I said. Power comes in response to a need, not a desire. That is actually true.
Yeah. So if you want to be the main character and you're acting like one, it doesn't have a purpose. But if you have to be one, then okay, might as well.
Exactly. That's right.
But you gotta be humble enough to realize you're just an NPC to everybody's life around you.
And that's okay, right? And that's okay. That's the thing. But people, like, the narrative today is you're not supposed to be the NPC. The narrative is you're the main character. You do whatever the fuck you want. That's the narrative now, right? You want all the attention. But I think that's where people mess up. Because then they're not going to work as hard with that desire. They need a real need to get them going.
Man,
This is some really good conversation we're having here.
yeah, for real. I didn't think you know what I'm saying? I didn't think we'd get this deep, man. I thought you were another TikToker.
I told you came to the right guy.
you were in line. You held up your promise.
Exactly.
Yo, Jenny's your girlfriend?
Yes. You can just
She
call her
is?
Jan.
Cool.
You can say Jan.
Jan.
Yeah.
Hey, Jan.
But no, I talk to my girlfriend a lot, and I tell her, like, the problem in the world are the people who just don't want to have conversations like this, right? Like, I talk to a lot of people, and you saw it yourself when you were talking to other people on Twitch. Like, they don't have this same level. They don't have this ability to connect the same way, right? It's almost like you're talking to a wall, right? And I'm glad you're not a wall. I hate talking to walls.
Dude, if you run into me in real life, bro, you might.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? What's your age, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 23.
23. Okay. We're not too far from each other.
Aged like Goku, man. I never aged like. People tell me I look like I'm 19, like I'm 18.
I was gonna say, like, you could pass for 19. Like, I could see it. You could pass for 19.
Oh man.
No, dude, that's dope.
I can talk to you. I can talk to you all night, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Chat, do we keep talking? Chat,
Yeah,
are
do
we
it.
enjoying
Yeah.
this conversation?
The other side. We can end this right here, right now. We keep talking.
We can keep talking. We can keep talking. Honestly, dude, like, you know what's funny is, you know how I tell you that I'm going out to all these events? I go out to these events looking for conversations like this. Because, like, dude, people need more of these conversations. This is what people need to hear more. And this is not the same as what you see online. It's not the same, bro. You don't get this level of, like, conversation online, and it's just the way the world is. Which is why I always try to tell people, guys, actually talk to people in person, or not necessarily in person, but, like, actually talk to them. Don't just reply to their photos. Don't just, oh, nice story, dope. Like, you actually need to have conversations with people. And I can guarantee you, the people you talked to earlier, the people that you interviewed earlier, they're just like, they've never conversated enough to be able to chat like this. Does that make sense?
What do they talk about?
Like, what do you mean? What do they talk about? You tell me. You're the one interviewing them.
Yeah, like if they don't have these kind of conversations, like what do you think they actually talk about? Because they gotta be talking about something.
Okay, I'm gonna get really deep now. I talk about this a lot, and I come to realize, right? There's a lot of people that talk more about what they see online than themselves. And when I say themselves, I don't mean this in like a narcissistic way. I mean like, you, Mr. Goku, tell me about your life. What have you gone through? What have you experienced, right? Like, tell me about something you struggled with this week. Tell me about something you struggled with this year. They don't talk about that. All they talk about is let's go and actually like what movie is out today? Let's talk about that movie. Okay, we have to talk about the movie. Yo, you want to hop on and play some video games? Let's go play some video games. Yo, do you want to did you hear about the drama with like Kanye? Yeah, the guy's a weirdo. Like, this is what they talk about. They're not talking about anything like they've experienced, you know? It's just stuff they see online. And that's how like the world currently is, which is why, again, like I tell people, you need to go out there and just experience the world and see it for what it is. Because everything you see online, dude, like everything online is almost like designed to nerf you. It's designed to nerf you.
You're supposed to keep you distracted from the Matrix.
Yes, it's designed to nerf you, bro. Even though I'm on here, like, yeah, you and I are streaming right now, but like, who knows? Somebody in this chat might be getting some value that they've never gotten ever in their entire life.
No, definitely, bro. And look, I think introverts are a lot smarter, but have you ever heard 2 extroverts or 3 extroverts talk? They're like this. Oh, yo, have you heard about the new gas prices? Oh my God, this just went like 2 cents yesterday. Oh my God, I wonder what caused them to go down. Oh, dude, Kanye just got this on from Adidas. Can you believe it? Oh, holy crap, what are we gonna do about it?
That's right.
And they just talk. All they do is talk.
Correct. And yeah, you need to be like introspective to a degree. Like introspective as in do you actually know yourself? Like most people don't even know themselves, bro. Like they don't know who they are, like, or even if they do, that they're just scared. They don't want to talk about themselves because they have nothing going for them. But I don't tell them, okay, the answer is not do nothing. The answer is make something of yourself. That's the answer. And that's what I found in this world, bro. It's an interesting world we live in now, and life is only getting harder. That's how I see things.
You think it's getting harder?
Life is definitely getting harder.
Oh man, why do you say that?
Life is getting harder because think about it. We're only 3 years apart, which means to some degree you've witnessed this change in technology. Let's imagine we're like 13 now. Our whole life is only technology. As in, since you were a kid, when you grew up, did you watch TV?
A little bit, not too much.
Okay, not too much. Like there are kids growing up now where they choose what they watch online. They're not watching TV. Like TVs are like programs, as in you don't have a choice what you watch. You just watch whatever is online, right? Nowadays, like as a kid, you can choose what you want to watch. And when you have something addicting to that level, you will be hooked to it for life. Let me actually back this up even more. Do you go out regularly at all? Like you said you work, right? So that must mean you go out and like talk to people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you well connected with people like in your past, like in high school or college or whatever?
I run into them.
Okay.
I feel like there's a big disconnect from where I'm at in life and what they're doing.
Right. Okay, so during COVID, I shouldn't even say that word. During the lockdown, right? During the lockdown, do you know anyone who has kind of like become nerfed because of the lockdown?
Huh, interesting.
And when I say nerfed, I mean like it doesn't even have to be a specific person you know, but have you noticed nowadays that people feel off? They're not
Dang, I see where you're going with this. Yo,
like people feel off, bro, and like during lockdown, it did something to us. What it did to us was we were all at home. The only thing we really had going for us was tech to distract us. That's all it was, tech, right? Tech has distracted all of us to a point now where people can't even go back to the real world, dude. I'm telling you, people can't go back to the real world. Before COVID, they were killing it, you know? They were talking, they were social, they were active, they were fit, they were all this, they were all that. After COVID, all of a sudden, like, they can't do that anymore for some reason. And it's not a mental limitation. They've developed, like, like almost like an addiction in a way to tech and social media and everything they see online that of course they can't focus on themselves anymore. They're too distracted. Like that's what lockdown did to us, right?
Wow.
Like
Dude,
think about this.
dude.
Yeah. And it takes a great level of awareness to even realize that happened. Everyone's just like, "Oh yeah, are you socially anxious too?" "Yeah, me too, me too." And like everyone's just socially anxious now. Why though? Obviously, yeah, we had 2 years away from each other, and some people are never gonna break out of that, and that's the truth. But like, we have to work harder now to make sure that we're good. You know what I mean? We have to work even harder to make sure that we're good, and that's why life is hard.
Man, geez, man, that opened my mind a little bit because now, you interact with enough people, you start to see a pattern in them.
Exactly, that's right.
And that's a pattern I didn't even see because you're right.
Even within the interviews you might have had before, I've never seen them, but you probably noticed the common trend.
What do you think the common trend is in interviews?
Well, interviews I don't know exactly, but what I can tell you is that like I just see it within people now. They can't even have a conversation. As a matter of fact, if you go out on the streets, people struggle making eye contact now. Like they can't have a conversation looking you in the eye, right? They have to like talk to you, then look down at their phone. Like they have to because what like tech has done to us is our normal state is looking at a screen. I just gotta stop. Connor, thank you for the prime sub, brother. I appreciate that. When you go out now, right? Go out into the public world and try to talk to people, just anybody, and see how good their eye contact it is. Eye contact is. Nobody is good at eye contact anymore, bro. Like that's how the world is now, and you need to like understand that it's becoming the norm to not look at each other in the eyes anymore. That's the norm now. The norm is we look on our phone, we look up, we say something to somebody, we look back down. Like that's the new norm now. And it's becoming so normalized to the point where people have no confidence to even look at each other in the eyes anymore. That's how the world is. And like I told you, I think people are getting nerfed, and that's what's happening in this world.
Yeah, I think it's due to like adult material you watch online that kills the soul. Eating seed oils, sugars,
Right?
it's a whole system. They try to wrap us in like big nets.
Yeah.
But only a few small fish escape.
That's correct. Only a few small fish escape. But then,
like first, the adult materials are like touching yourself. That just ruins your brain. And then
of course
on
it
top
does.
of that,
Absolutely.
the food, there's like seed oils and sugar in almost about anything. So to eat healthy, it's kind of abnormal. Like if you go to any grocery store, you're only going to see a small section where it has actually the good foods that are natural for you. Another one is like social media. It's another distraction. So it's like all these systems put in place to ruin you. And you have to like put a defense mechanism against it with your own brain. And it's hard. A lot of people can't escape it and won't escape it.
That's correct. Like a lot of things are designed to keep you distracted and to also keep you nerfed, bro. And this is why I'm saying the world's getting harder. All of these addictive things are getting stronger. Like the forces that are keeping you hooked are getting stronger, you know? And it's the way the world is now. And if you're not ready to handle that, you're fucked. That's the world we live in. You're gonna be fucked now.
How do we fight against those things, man?
So do you have what's your solution to that? Do you have a solution to it?
I've been doing well, but before I share yours, before I share mine, I like to get yours.
You want to hear mine? Well, my solution to it is to, one, like I told you, stay true to yourself. Try not to give in. Like even like in the content world, right? The temptation is money. The temptation is money for you to push narratives that aren't yours, right? For you to say stuff that you don't even believe in yourself. That's the way the content world works. And for me, I think the best way that I can contribute is to raise myself high up enough to be able to influence people in the same way that I've talked to you and made you almost feel like enlightened in a way. To be able to do that with a lot of people, essentially. That's kind of like my solution to it. And in order for me to even have the power to do that, I have to raise myself up and be a person that's capable of being in that position. If I'm not, then obviously I'm never going to have that impact on people.
So I think I missed your first point. So you're saying you have to be someone who stands up for your own ideas,
Correct?
and reject any negative influences, whether it's
Correct.
around people
Yeah.
or around.
I don't necessarily. I don't want to say it's negative influences, but like fight for what you believe is true. Fight for what you believe is true. Because who knows? Like maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I hope someone corrects me. But you need to correct me from a really like logical standpoint, not just because other people told you, but you got to tell me. Like, all right, like why are things your way? You know?
Yeah, because if you sell out, like you sell out for anything else.
So, right. So that's kind of like the way that I'm approaching it. And what about yourself?
Man, the way to beat the matrix is to like build the right habits as early on as possible. That way you give them enough time to develop. And even if you do get a bad habit, you cannot like fully give into them
Right.
at all. So it is easier to escape.
Right.
And basically, like you do it long enough, it sticks. It sticks to a point where it becomes your routine and you're not in it anymore.
Right.
So it's all about habit development. It's like every human you interact with, you are your habits. They are their habits. There's this thing I love to use. It's called the 1 to 2% method. A lot of people tell you like, oh, you need to quit this. You need to stop doing that. They don't exactly tell you how to practically do it. The 1 to 2% method is including or getting rid of any habit you desire to get rid of or include in your life by slowly doing it. So if you want to read a book, you read a page a day, 10 letters a day. And then the next day you do like 20 letters, 30 letters. You just do it in a very incremental amount to the point where it just becomes easier over time. If you want to quit a habit, you don't do it full turkey. You just like, if you drink beer, drink a whole bottle, but like leave like a little bit left in it. The next time you do it, drink a whole bottle with a little bit left in it, but do it outside where you normally don't do it, right? The next time you do it after that, drink a little bit less of that whole bottle, and then maybe do it at the park. You know, you switch it up enough times, the cue just goes away. Like you're next time you're home or in an environment you usually do it, it's just not there anymore.
No, I get it. So what you're trying to say is you want to improve 1% every day.
No, not necessarily. Like you should improve as much as you can.
As much as you can.
To build break habits I feel like that's the best way to do it. Just do it slowly, and then increase it every time.
So that over time, it's like progressive overload in the gym, right? But you progressive overload life. What are you eating? Grapes? Is that grapes?
Hey, bro, leave me alone, man.
That looks, the way you're eating, it sounds like chips, but like I can see it's grapes.
You can tell it's good, huh?
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good, brother.
It is pretty good. So yeah, man, the 1 to 2% method will never fail you in anything you're trying to build.
What's up, Matrix?
One of your viewers,
what?
How to escape the matrix. This is what he said. He said, to be honest, I'm still stuck in the matrix. Learning how to get out, like what you just said, having defense from being distracted, like being on your phone, being lazy to do something because you're watching your TV. You have to train yourself from being distracted and fully consumed in the thing you want and the thing that you will get you out of the matrix. I don't know if I read that completely, but what he's saying is being distracted like pushes you farther and farther into the matrix.
No, that is true. It does. Exactly, it does.
I don't know, man. I feel like every man should get on NoFap. I'm almost 40 days in.
Yeah.
And like the eye contact, the benefits, we live in a spiritual experience. So
it is.
The thing about doing all that stuff is you feel guilt and shame. And so when you feel that, you not only do you get downsides to those kind of habits and activities, you know, when you avoid them, you avoid getting into the negatives, you know? Not only are you getting good stuff, but you avoid going to the bad realm of your state of your soul.
That's right. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It's And the problem is it's not talked about enough. That's what the problem is, right? Like, no, like it's No Nut November now, which means it's going to be a discussion for a month. But this should be a discussion year round, right? It's not supposed to be a monthly thing. It should be a life thing. That's what it is. But nobody wants to talk about that. I'll give you a fun fact. You know what pH stands for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the pH, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Do you know the I'm gonna look this up right now. I could be wrong, but hold up. I'm gonna look this up real quick. But did you know the company that owns pH, or like the company above it, their name has to do with the word like mind. Something about like mind. It's a fun. I'm trying to look up right now, but like.
Yeah, I've seen that on TikTok. It's
Yeah.
like Mind Geek.
Something like that, and you have to like understand that there's more psychological things at play than people understand, right? It's mass like manipulation that's like happening, in my opinion. But like, it's too deep of a conversation to talk about, you know?
No, yeah, I've seen the thing you're talking about. They'll show one company and owns the rest of the companies, and then basically they're pushing out all this content on purpose, and it's very very controlled.
It's capitalism. It's trying to profit off of people. That's what it is, right? It's
You know, I'm not even talking about, you know, all that in general, like the content. You know, it's important for a man to control his own, like, you know, desires
urges.
and whatnot. Yeah, because if you're not, you're going to be weak. And so there's actually a lot of power coming into it when you can hook up with everybody and do that stuff all the time, and being able to be like, you know what, I'm not going to do that. You get a lot more power and personal freedom when you stay away from it.
Exactly. You're not wrong on that. You're not wrong on that.
Also, it's like against every religion you can think of too.
It is. But then nowadays, we're going against, like, the general population now is going against every religion. Something's off. Something's off, my guy. And you gotta see it to be aware.
We all need God, man. God. That's what we need is God. What you mean? Yo, Chris. Yo, is that protein?
Yes, it is. Are you gonna bash me on it?
Heck yeah, bro. You're just drinking straight protein, bro. You're nasty.
I mean, you know, what's funny is that I know the bad things about it, but I still do it because it's not something, no one's held me accountable for it. But now that you're saying that, you're making me aware of something that I have in my head that is just so normal to me.
No, I used to do that, but I was like, yo, you don't even get that much protein from all those fake proteins. You need real foods, bro. That's
You're right.
what
You
need,
do
like,
need real foods. You're right. You're right. I agree with you. You're not wrong on that. That's a vice. If it's a vice, I'm not even gonna try to hide, bro. It's a vice. And this, I'm gonna tell you what. Like, this is why people need to have conversations like this, because when you don't, no one else is going to keep you accountable if you're not surrounded by the right people. If you're with people who don't care, if they don't even care about themselves, why would they care about you, right?
No, yeah.
See, you calling me out, I'm like, damn. God put you in front of me right now to call me out. That's what he did. That's what he did, bro.
You gotta get right, my boy.
Do you just do like what, bodybuilding in the gym, or what else do you do?
I do a lot of hooligan stuff in the gym.
Like, what do you mean?
You know, I'm just kidding. Just bodybuilding.
Just bodybuilding? Okay. I got out of bodybuilding. Well, sorry, I started off in bodybuilding, got into powerlifting, and then more recently calisthenics, and even more recently I got into Muay Thai. So,
Muay Thai?
if you do you do any fight at all? Like anything fighting?
No, I'm planning to do this soon.
Definitely do it, bro. Like, I've held it off this long, and I can tell you, it's not the same feeling as like bodybuilding and like looking better. Being able to fight, like, it's such a different release and I think you should definitely consider it.
I
hundred
bet.
percent.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it, man.
Yeah,
Muay
you
Thai.
should. Muay
Tell me
Thai.
about that.
So what's funny, like how it started off for me was I have these shorts. Do you know Raw Gear?
Right here, no.
Raw Gear. It's like Bradley Martin's brand.
Right here, I've heard of it. Yeah, tell me.
Okay, so Raw Gear has these like shorts where they have text in the front of it. And I wore them in the gym one time and someone told me, "Yo, do you do Muay Thai?" I'm like, "No, I don't." Those shorts look like Muay Thai because Muay Thai shorts, they have text in the front of them. And then what actually happened was someone said that, and then I was like, should I do Muay Thai? And I put up a story on my Instagram, and then 99% of the poll said yes. And then, I was like, I just did it, and now I'm in Muay Thai. So I'm in it now, and it's such a different experience, bro. And that's something that I highly recommend you do, and every guy should do. I know I'm that guy who's only been in it for like a month, but like I can't stress the benefits.
Do you prefer that over karate?
I mean, I've never done karate. Like I'm not necessarily saying do Muay Thai and don't do anything else. Muay Thai is the only thing that I've like taken seriously, so that's the only thing I can speak on. But if you have other forms of art, like go for it, bro.
You know, I think I'm gonna have to give you some insight on what I think about you. To divert a little bit from this conversation. So I think reality is extremely subjective. So there's a lot of people who believe we live in objective reality, right? Just because you could see what I can see and I can see what you see, we all live in the same world. That's actually the furthest thing away from the truth possible. Reality is actually extremely subjective. Everybody around you lives in their own universe. Every single person. Their experiences, their thoughts, the way they see the world is completely different. Even though, we see things semi-objectively, but there's no way for actually everybody in the entire world and every moment in the universe is happening around you to like be observed by all the same people around you. It's like constantly happening, constantly changing, constantly evolving. And it's just constant. So, when you say like people around you are having these issues and they can't see, they can't look at each other in the eyes, or there's social issues, that's only from your perspective or from the people you hang around with necessarily,
Correct.
like, and even like for me, if I had that kind of issue with the people around me, like I'm just using it as an example just to help you like see how I think a little bit. So even if you see these patterns in people around you, like it's very ignorant to like generalize it.
It's ignorant for me to generalize it.
Yeah, well, I feel like people do it. Like when I listen to that kind of stuff, I'm like, it doesn't make sense, because while that might be true, that's maybe only a small part. Like if you go on YouTube right now and go into like, say, the hip hop commentary type of like environment, right? It's obvious that hip hop and rap is like very negative, and the community around it is like it attracts a certain type of people. Maybe you could see that pattern that you're speaking about, or in general, or about that type of people, right? But that's just that group and that people that hold that mentality in around them. Like if you go to like middle school, right, and you see a bunch of kids like on their phones on TikTok all day, and you end up seeing those same kids on TikTok, you'll be like, okay, that's from like that kind of group and their mentalities. So I'm always open to like a very rational preview on people and for who they actually are. Categorizing is sort of hateful.
Is that all of it?
Yeah, like
Okay.
I'd like to know what you think about
No,
what
absolutely.
I said.
So no, I can see where you're getting at, and if I come off as hateful, like I don't mean to come off as hateful. I'm not saying that I'm better than these people, or when I talk about that. I think like the way I see it, like to a degree, I do agree that everyone experiences subjective realities. So people are going through life and they're experiencing it completely differently, right? But to a certain degree, right? If you like, say for example, if you come to Vancouver, right? Vancouver, when your experience to Vancouver will be specific to who you are, correct? But you will obviously find a pattern within Vancouver that will be completely different from where you live, correct? So the way that I see things is, I think being able to conversate with people, such as like eye contact, is something in life that you almost like need. It's almost like, I mean, like that's kind of how I see it. It more depends now on what you consider is something that's crucial to survive or to live in this world. And I would much rather help people navigate through life than to allow them to live their reality and pretend that like, oh, nothing else wrong will go with what they're learning. You know what I mean? So, for example, you and I both agree that everyone should go on NoFap, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
If we approach life though from what you just suggested, which is like hateful to categorize people, then in a sense there are already people out there living a life where they think it's perfectly fine, correct? So wouldn't you also, to be consistent with what you suggested, wouldn't you have to say that we must also allow everyone to just do all the, fapping as much as they wish, and that they should continue to do that?
Under what circumstance?
Like like you said, so in the sense of what you said earlier, that it's their reality, everyone experiences their own reality. We should allow them to live their own reality, right? So do you agree then that maybe we shouldn't suggest to people at all to, maybe you shouldn't fap. We should just let them be.
I think I misunderstood a little bit. So I don't think you're a hateful person.
Mm-hmm.
I think just categorizing or generalizing people tends to lead to hate. Now, what you said is not hate at all, but I do think when you start to generalize people, and use that in your conversation, it is sort of hateful, because what it tends, I'm not saying it's you at all, but what happens is, instead of seeing every person for who they are, I think this is a mindset I was guilty of. So you start to like look at people as, oh, this person is this race, or this ethnicity, or they do this type of thing, so they must be that.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
For who they are, What I'm saying is, when I say like reality is subjective, it's all about the way you think.
Right.
Like the way you think is the outcome of your own reality. So caring about what other people think and living in this semi-objective world even more than you have to tends to worsen your own state of life. Now, when it comes to like this reality in society, we do live in a semi-objective reality, but you are stuck in your own head, your own thoughts, and you're constantly manifesting every day. You're manifesting your own universe.
I see what you mean. So you're trying to say that usually when you generalize people, it might lead to negative beliefs that are otherwise true.
Sort of, but like generalizing the patterns and the behaviors is cool. But I feel like personally you were generalizing, your outlook on life because of the experiences around the people you're having or the people you've been around. Like, I can speak to someone else who's from Vancouver, who's probably like a social media influencer that could have a lot less followers than you. Maybe he's a lot less famous, but he's living like in a different city, or in a city where there's like a lot more interactions. Maybe their city has like a lot older people, right? And I can't compare your life directly to his, but he could probably have a different experience.
No, you're right. Actually, I'm gonna actually support you on this, because recently I used to have this belief that everybody had an ego, right? I used to have this belief. And I went to Toronto about 2 months ago, okay? And I was walking around downtown, and the atmosphere is not the same as Vancouver. As in, if you talk to a random person, you could actually have a far more better conversation with someone there than here in Vancouver. So you are correct that my worldview was still too small at the time. Right? Like, I think my worldview was still too small at the time when I was in Vancouver, because if what I've experienced in Vancouver is only there, and then I go to like Toronto and it's completely different, what else is there in the world that's different now? That makes me question. That makes me want to travel more now. Before, I used to be like, I don't have the travel bug. I don't need to travel. Like I can be to myself. But now I've actually realized that there's actually far more value to experiencing different cultures and different like societies and different upbringings. And there's like also a narrative now that like the West is like extremely corrupt and that you should experience the other side of the world. Like I want to experience all these things now to expand my worldview. But no, I can see where you're getting from. Like I think that's what you mean, right?
Yeah, and the tricky, pretty much, like the tricky part is, even me speaking on this as if I know something, it's like the more I learn and the more I know, like the less I'm inclined to say something, right?
Exactly. No, you're right.
Only-
And I'm the same
I'm
too.
only sharing from my perspective and from what I've learned and from all the data I've collected based on what I've learned.
Exactly.
So
And that's the better approach than for you to say something about topics you don't actually know, right? So I think you're approaching it right, and I find myself the same way too. Like if I genuinely don't know about a topic, I can give you my opinion, but I don't think you should give it a lot of value because I've never actually experienced that myself.
no,
Yeah.
but from when I got this piece of knowledge, it changed my life though. That reality is subjective. But it's a hard concept for a lot of people to understand
Right.
because it's a hard one to explain. You know, because
It is.
you could say, okay, reality is subjective, but to what extent and how? But if somebody who's like a little bit smart, they like I've talked to in the past, they usually pick up on it. So you are in your own head, you are in your own universe. Everyone around you is in their own universe, basically. And I don't think we do live in the same world at all.
We don't. We truly don't. I truly believe that everyone does experience their own reality, and it's important for us, like I said, now, like I think this goes back to what I was saying earlier, where we need to have conversations like this so we can, like through you, my worldview is also growing because I'm learning whatever you're going through, right? And you're learning whatever I'm sharing with you the same way. But if we stuck to ourselves and we're both just never talking to people, then what's gonna happen? Like we don't actually know anything. Like we don't. Not only do we not know anything, we also don't know anything about other people, and we can only judge from what we see, which is not like a two-way interaction. What's up? What's up, JP? Sorry, carry on.
That's when I do interviews, I basically tap into other people's universes because what they deem as normal or what they think society deems normal is only what they deem normal.
Correct.
And that's their own universe. But they think the people around them that agree with them and the people that think like them are like a part of their world, or they live in the same world, but it's only like a small subcategory
Correct.
of people around them or like-minded people. So it's actually just them. But
Yeah. No, you're totally right.
You know, when we were in high school or school, and you had a lot of people agreeing that this person was cool or this person was that. That's because on a very minuscule level, a lot of people were seeing the same thing in a semi-objective reality, and they were agreeing on it. And when they agree, the more they agree on it, the more they agree that hey, they all live in the same world, or they all think and feel the same things, but it's not true. I enjoy this, so it doesn't really feel like I'm putting hours towards it or grinding.
That is true. I see, like that's a trap. That's a trap though with like social media though, but you got to be a little bit careful of. And this is something that I think I personally went through. Was there comes a certain point where you might actually not feel like working, but what you're doing is actually not productive to like growing your career anymore, if that makes sense. And I had to make that decision eventually at some point.
Growing your career.
Yeah, like I'll give you an example, right? Let's talk about video games. Let's not even talk about you and me talking. Let's talk about video games. There's people who don't feel like they're working, right? But they play video games on stream, correct? But because they're enjoying the game so much, they feel productive because they were live. But they don't understand that their approach to streaming isn't actually helping them at all. Does that make sense?
Wait, say the last part again. I lost you.
Their approach to streaming, even though it doesn't feel like work, it's actually like not helping them at all. Like if you love something so much, you might be blind to the fact that it's not growing. You know what I mean? But again, it depends what your goals are, though.
Okay, so it's like an autopilot.
Yeah, you just go on autopilot. So it depends, though. Like it depends what your true goals are.
I don't know. I feel like when someone is passionate or obsessive or something, like they put up more energy into it.
That's
But
true.
you also have somebody that just doesn't care and they just roll along with the waves.
Yeah,
Or
because
do
well, the way
whatever.
I see it is, you have to a certain degree. Like there are people out there who work extremely hard, but they're not working on the right things. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, you have to think hard too.
Exactly. Well, but that's the thing. If you're super passionate about something, you almost go to autopilot. You're not thinking anymore. You just do, right? So you have to have some degree of like you got to be able to zoom out a little bit and try to understand. Try to understand from like a bigger perspective. All right, is this the right direction? Are we doing the right thing? Are we going the right way? You know? Yeah, Hyper said it right in my chat. For some people, if they streamed all day long and didn't get a good clip, that counts. That counts as having an unproductive day for them. Well, I think that's a good approach because then at least they're trying to get something out of the stream. But imagine if like you don't even care about clips and you're just streaming and playing and there's no like real growth happening. You know, like you gotta to a certain level you gotta understand like okay, like is this what I want? Am I just trying to chill? If I'm just trying to chill, fine, it's okay. But if I am trying to grow, you can't keep doing that. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. I think everybody starts with a why. The reason,
Right.
here's the thing. I'm gonna give y'all some gold right here, bro. There's some gold. I gotta take some notes. So it starts with a why. Everything you do in life, you need to exactly know why you're doing it. And so a lot of people will be like, okay, how do I find my why? You can't really think about yourself. You have to think about we instead of I. That's really where your why comes from. So
Why? Why do you have to say we though?
because if you do it about you, me, you actually get less for yourself, think about you, and also you're not being, beneficial for the world. But when you have a why that's when you have a why that's planted around like doing things for people around you, you actually get more purpose and motivation and inclined to do it, and you become a we person. You get more for you because you're invested into all these different people universes around you and helping them and making an impact, and eventually some good comes along you.
That's true.
Right?
I don't disagree with that. I think that ties to what we were saying earlier about the power comes from need, not a desire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big reason of why I do NoFap is because I can have conversations like these that are long and insightful, because when I'm on NoFap, I have all this energy.
Right.
And I have energy all day. Like I can go to the gym twice a day, work an 8-hour shift, come back and do another 6-7 hour stream, and just like I can talk all day for hours and just nonstop. Like I don't even know what I'm saying right now. And it's like I want to be able to leave a piece of me to the people I interact with. So I'm not really doing it for me. I'm doing it to be able to like not feel drained when I'm talking to people.
That's good. I like that. I like that approach. But like there's people who have never experienced that, and that's why it's almost like someone has got to show them, Somebody has got to show them.
Somebody's got to be the leader.
Someone's got to lead. I think generally people want to have someone to almost like save them in a way. People want to be saved, right? But it's the ones that don't want to be saved that are like, they're doomed. How's your love life? Let's talk about your love life.
Oh my god. Oh my god. You guys are why did you have to bring that up, yo?
I mean, I think part of the journey of improving yourself is also being open to more love. So now you got to talk about it.
Oh man, you guys are killing me, man. That's like the one thing that's actually complicated in my life. Like I can talk to you about anything else but that.
Okay, yeah, share it.
All right, I'll be happy to share. So basically, I'm not in love.
Okay.
And I'm religious.
Yeah.
So I cannot date. I cannot be around women.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot hook up. I cannot, just be around them in general like that.
So you're not actually not allowed to be around women at all.
To some extent, yeah. But the problem is in the modern world, a boy and a girl get together for a little bit, and then eventually something just happens, right?
Right.
So like I can't be around him, but I have to be like very, because that's how you get married, right? It's like you got to be around him at first to talk.
Yeah, you got to grow into each other.
Be very careful. So he linked that in my chat. So you can talk to them, but you can't like be in the same room together and just with nobody else around like that. So I'm saving myself for marriage. And so I can't really catch feelings or.
But you said that it's complicated. So is there more to it, or is it just because like you want it, but you are held back by your religion?
Yeah, but I can get married to like any time I want to right now.
Right.
The thing is, ever since I've been getting on NoFab and I've been thinking about my dreams before that, really I don't have urges, I don't have desires, and I'm just happy. I'm happy to be on my own, and I feel like marriage is not a cure for happiness, and when you get married, it's just not going to be like, oh man, or when you find the one you love, it's still a challenge and it's still another part of life. Just like as when you're single, you enjoy different benefits and perks. When you get married, it's vice versa, right?
I get that. Yeah. So it's complicated. Just to clarify, it's complicated because you're restraining yourself.
Yeah, like because I'm restraining myself, and I'm also thinking like, hey, do I want to focus on myself for the next couple of years? I'm happy to be alone, and then or I can get married right now and invest this time into a marriage and a relationship.
Right. But what do you want?
I think like I'm 23, so I think in the next like 3 to 5 years, if I give myself more time to develop, I can essentially like find a more mature partner in life that's have more experiences on their own. I feel like I'll hone my skills within the next couple of years. I'll become a better partner. It's like the longer I seem to wait, this is what I notice the pattern I'm noticing. The longer I seem to wait and hold off to myself, I feel like, man, at this point, I can become a better person in a relationship than I was like 3 months ago when I was holding myself back. And then in the next 3 months, if I keep doing the same thing, I'll be like, like I got more experience to share with my partner.
Yeah.
My future partner. So.
All right. So here's a question for you then. What traits would you look for in a woman?
Yeah, that's so funny you asked me that.
Because? Why is it funny?
Because when I do IRL streams, like, that's the questions I'll be asking people. You're interviewing me right now, dude.
Okay, yeah. So I'm literally interviewing right now. So what traits do you look for in a woman? Because right now, like, let me preface this though. I think you're a person who really has really good values. So I would love to see what the traits are you look for in a woman.
All right. Ask Chris. I want to hear. So what I look for in a woman, I like a girl who is feminine. The most attractive thing to me in a girl who's not like feminized. A girl who's just like just is feminine, right?
What do you mean by is not feminized?
Okay, I'll give you an example. So there's this guy that I was watching, and he was talking about he's got the hottest girl he's ever been with, but he was not attracted to her. She was so hot, but he wasn't attracted to her because her vibe was just like masculine and like off. I like a girl who's just girly.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
let's get into more detail. Like, what do you consider is like a masculine trait that a woman would have then? Like, what does she do?
If she talks like a man, like not sounding like one, but she talks like one. Like, I run this world.
Okay.
I'm the boss of my own thing, like this and that.
Okay.
I feel like that mentality alone just destroys any chance of a good, like, healthy relationship. That's a red flag for me. But I'm going to talk about the things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Because when a girl is masculine, when a girl is feminine and a man is masculine, it just flows naturally, in my opinion. But all these concepts have so many different perspectives on them that I don't want to complicate it. I like a woman who's well spoken, who is just happy, has a good vibe about her, is consistently like in a good mood is not like bipolar, unless she's in a bad mood or on her period. Um, just like a good vibe to be around
Yeah.
most of the time.
Right.
I think I'm looking more for introverted women
Introverted
nowadays.
woman. Okay.
Yeah. That's because like I learned this from someone. He was telling me like opposites attract, but when you get someone who's like you and has some like some things you share
Hmm.
a lot more than being an opposite, you actually flow better. So I think about it like when I'm by myself a lot, and I like being in my own head thinking a lot.
Yeah.
So if I'm around a girl who's just talking my ear off half the time, yo, I'm gonna be out of there. You feel me?
Yeah. Okay. I see. Okay, so I like the take. It's one that I resonate with myself. In terms of yourself, what do you think you need to do to be a good partner?
A good partner. Yeah, I gotta be a hard worker first of all. You know, because there's gonna be problems and there's gonna need some work to be solved. I think I need to be a good communicator because that will solve most of the problems. To be honest and upfront about those problems, to get through them and solve them, and generally just make my partner feel good,
Hmm.
um, and be there for them every chance that I can. How about you? You're in a current relationship, right?
Yes, I
With
am.
with Jenny.
Yes, I am.
With Jenny. I don't know. I'd like to ask you some questions, but you're already in a relationship. Um, how do you feel like your dynamic is? How's your relationship, first of all?
With me and Janice. Her name's
Yeah.
Janice. Yeah, I'll call her Jan for short. But when you say dynamic, what do you mean? Like, what does our day to day look like?
No, I'm saying like, what is the state of your relationship? How is it going?
So we've been together for 11 years. We've been together for a long time.
Wow.
We're high school sweethearts, and we've been good. Honestly, like we've been good. I find that in the same way that for you, you know that by restraining yourself, you were finding something better. For me, it's more like I don't need to look elsewhere. Does that make sense? I get a lot of temptation around me, but like within myself, I just know like look, I already have what I'm looking for, and there's nothing that could fill that. And in that sense, like what I'm really trying to say is like I think we're good, we're fine, and we're growing together, and that's all that I really want in my relationship with her, to constantly
Mm.
grow together.
Yeah, I have to say I respect that a lot because you know, I think that's the problem in our world is we date too much and then we like, hey, I like this about this girl, I like this about this girl, and you started trying to stitch the perfect partner, but eventually you're gonna have to settle with someone who's not never gonna be perfect,
Hmm.
and just look for the good qualities and just enjoy them, not enjoy them, but like appreciate them for who they are.
Exactly. I think you already know what the current world is like, and I think because I've been with her for 11 years, right? I For 11 years I've never been exposed to that whole dating scene of like, okay, that girl was good at this girl was good at that, but that girl sucked at this and this girl sucked at that, and then it's just like, now like you're correct that you're stitching the perfect image in your head of what a girl is up until it's impossible now to fill that role, right? So then it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like you have to settle for unhappiness when you do find the right partner. But I find that
What,
like, sorry, go ahead.
what are some good qualities that you like about her?
See, it's weird that I'm answering this and she's watching, but I think that when you grow with someone, you develop a story with them and you become invested in that story, right? And the thing that we have is the recollection of everything that we've gone through together, and that can never be taken away. Like that will never ever be gone, right? I could meet like an 11 out of 10 girl tomorrow, think she's perfect and all that stuff, but there is nothing for me to look at in the past with her, right? That's not something that you can beat. So when it comes to her, we have a story that we've grown up together in. It's literally a part of me. It's a part of who I am. And to some degree, like I still say this, but like I always try to not. I don't want to make myself extremely dependent on a relationship, right? But I know for a fact that it's like embedded in me, you know. I'm telling you, bro. I've been around a lot of temptations. You know what I mean? But I think my biggest power as a man is what is the essence of what we've been talking about this entire stream. It's self-control. That's what it truly is about, right? And protecting things that are sacred within our lives.
Definitely, man. Man, that really touched me in some weird places, man. 'Cause
but I'll tell you what, like what this conversation we're having right now, like you don't get this type of conversation a lot, right? It's
no,
not.
not on an NPC TV, never, man.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, man, that definitely touched me, man, because you're like, you could take money away, you could take, you can get a girl that's hot, but the connection and the moments and the struggles and all the good and bad times you've been through, there's just history that was built and you can't undo it.
Right.
It's always going to be there in your head and her head.
Correct. That's right. And yeah, I have to remind her a lot too that, like, yes, I might be around these girls that feel like a threat, but there is no threat because you are unbeatable. That's the way that I try to like frame things. So yeah. That's our relationship. I'm very happy with my relationship, and I'm happy. I have the luxury of going about with like, see, you have a problem that I don't have. Your problem is, you're like, that's a problem you're gonna have to deal with, right? And for myself, it's like, okay, I'm so blessed that I'm in this current position to allow myself the time and freedom to focus on what I need to do as a man, and she's not the type of person to like hold me back from that, and that's what I love.
No.
And in the same way, it goes both ways. That's how I see it.
I feel like God is on your side.
I don't. That's the first time I've ever heard anyone say that to me.
I'll tell you why. Because a lot of people think that the problem with our society is because we're free to do whatever they want, right? So here's what they do, right? They date 100 people, 1,000 people. They sleep with whoever they want. They go back and forth. But every time they do that, they're actually ruining the quality relationship that they could be having by adding more people to their rosters.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're not supposed to. God didn't design us to just. We have conscious brains and we have morals, and we're not designed to just go around and like experience each other like trading cards, homie. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because it takes away the value, right, of the whole relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you talk to a girl this week and you don't talk to her anymore, I get to try her out.
Yeah.
And the next guy tries her out. It's like we're just all passing each other around. There's just no value there, like you were saying. And so I feel like where God has youth, because all the religions, I mean, I feel like the main important religions emphasize this point is, be in monogamous relationship. And so you got lucky because, you have it like an old school fashion. You got your high school sweetheart and you've been with her ever since. You didn't have the chance to get corrupted or as much.
Right. And, let me add on to that, right? Like, I was actually discussing this with my friend that I was with earlier today, and we talked a lot of. He said the same thing, but not from like a religious like viewpoint. He just said that like what I have is very like pure, right? And for me, I need to protect that purity, right? I need to, like, while it may appear the grass is greener from the other side, I have to make sure that I protect what I have right now, because what I have is something that's truly beautiful.
Absolutely, man. And money can't buy it. You probably can't get it anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And this is sort of the same reason, we get married right away in our religion.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no dating. You can talk you know, you can exchange information, but
Right.
there's no like a triads like a part of it.
I get it.
Because when you essentially when you date, you're looking for all these good qualities, and people tend to just do it once, they do it again, they keep doing it until they're like, oh, this is what I want, this is what I like, and then eventually they settle with someone, and then you know they're not really, that person is not really who they expected them to be,
Yeah.
and then they develop and grow after that. But when you marry right away, it actually solves a lot of these problems, believe
Right.
it or not. Might not seem like it, but it does.
I believe it. It makes sense. When something is scarce, it has extremely high value. And the more of whatever you have around, the less value it has. And in this case, it's more of like the relationship. It's the action, right? It's the actions that you do. But no, dude, in the same way, I think you're in the right path. I think you're following a good direction, and I think you know your values, right? So I'm gonna say it back to you that I also think God is on your side, and also God connected you and me for a reason.
Man, Legendaley, man, it's been Chris. Man, it's been such a time. We spent an hour and 40 minutes together, maybe a little over that. I've got a lot of insight learning from you and getting to know who you are and a little bit about your girlfriend. Um, and man, I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, and likewise to you. Thank you for interviewing me.
Of course, man. I got you on Discord. I'm gonna hit you with a follow. Yeah, man. Let's be in touch.
Yes, of course, brother. It was a nice conversation. We'll talk some more.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
And you keep up the work on social media. And you know, I seen some people that were saying, hey, your chat, you know, you don't stream as much and you're not getting as many viewers. You know,
Yeah.
You'll come
like,
up, bro.
At this point, you get used to that because, like I told you, when you're in the game long enough, you know what it takes to blow up. And when you stream and you're not making that effort, you just get all those messages that are like, "Yo, like what happened, bro? What happened, bro?" And you get used to it. But like, I'm a firm believer that if I genuinely wanted to start streaming again and like getting big on here, I can make that happen. But I've concluded in my head that it's not worth my time and effort. So my time and effort is worth better elsewhere, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, as you put that time and effort in other places, there's the smaller things that you don't care about as much will naturally grow after a little bit.
Correct. We'll compound on top of each other.
All right, my friend.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure. You have
Been a good chat,
rest
bro.
of your night.
Yes. All right, dude. Enjoy your night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Peace. What a genuinely good conversation that was. Holy crap.